the root is actually what's going to help keep all of these layers together so your onion doesn't separate when you go ahead and start cutting. So the way it is, so the root is facing away from you. The open end of the onion is facing towards you, and then the rounded edge is going side to side. So what we want to do is grab your knife, grab your onion firmly, and then with your knife, you're going to start making cuts all the way across the onion going this way. And when you cut into the onion, what you want to make sure is that you don't cut through all the way to the root, but cut a little bit beforehand, because again, we don't want to be cutting the root because that's what's keeping all the layers together. If you do cut through the root, it's actually going to separate everything out and make things a lot more difficult. So depending on how large of a cut or how large of a dice of an onion you want is how far each cut on your onion is going to be. So if we're going for a really fine dice, we're going to start making very frequent incisions. And so as you can see, I'm taking my knife just slightly above the previous cut. I'm allowing the whole length of the knife to slice through, and then it stops somewhere around here. Again, we don't want to be cutting all the way through to the end. Okay. And then when we start at this end of the knife, at this end of the onion, the knife is going to be at an angle. And as we work our way up the onion, our knife is going to straighten out. And then once we get towards the end, it's going to start going in at an angle again, and that will allow us to have very even cuts all the way through the onion. So as you can see, when we're halfway through, you have all of these even cuts, and had we cut through the root, all of this would be falling off and you would have onion layers everywhere, and it would also separate out going this way. So let's finish cutting all the way across. And then what I like to do when I get towards this end here and I don't have a lot of grip, I actually like to grip my onion this way and kind of help keep all the layers together. And that also helps keep the pressure even. That way when the knife slices through, it actually has pressure to slice through something. So now that you have your onion cut all the way through this way, next thing that I'm going to do is start cutting horizontally into the onion. What that's going to do is kind of help even out the onion dice, because right now, even though you do have all of these other layers that come naturally into an onion, cutting through horizontally is really going to help give you a finer dice. So what you're going to do is grip your knife. I kind of like having my hand at an edge so it doesn't go into the counter. Again, we're gripping our onion on both sides, just so that way it really keeps everything together and puts the pressure so we're able to cut through smoothly. Again, mind your fingers, especially if we're looking at these guys on the end that are going to be the closest to the knife. So we're going for a more of a medium dice, so we're going to start going in this way, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do a 4th one here. Okay, so you can see our onion is starting to fall apart a little bit. So next what I'm going to do, and these guys are okay, these guys are done, is I'm going to keep everything together. And then we're going to start cutting across vertically. Okay, and then when you get to the root, remember, this is where we didn't cut all the way through, so this is all one whole piece of onion. Move this a little bit to the side. So what we want to do on this end piece here is, first of all, I'm going to get rid of these guys, is we're going to want to take this through and kind of repeat what we did on the original half of the onion. Is we're going to make cuts going this way. And then we're just gonna go all the way across. And then when you get to this end here, now I'm gonna start going in from both sides. And that's it. So that way all you're left is with this little root piece, which is, you know, we're not gonna eat. And you get a nice even dice on your onion.
If you want to learn more about how to work with onions, I have a couple of additional videos linked down below. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.